refreshed if you were on Twitch, but if you were on YouTube, make sure to join the new stream because unfortunately my stream crashed and my audio crashed and everything crashed. So um I might need to, restart the whole stream like I did right now. But for the meantime, we can all have fun and enjoy ourselves with some more Star Wars information. Might not be for more than an hour longer because that was what was left of the show. But in the meantime, we're gonna have to deal with the cards we're dealt, unfortunately. But the computer is being
How rude!
But, sometimes it gets kind of technical. But, like 3CPO says,
Don't get technical with me.
no, don't get technical with me. Not at all. We don't like that, and those are not the ways of the Star Wars Chatter show. But for those of you tuning in and ready to do some awesome stuff, make sure to join the stream, whether on YouTube or anywhere else. And for the most part, do what you gotta do. I'm trying to check if my stream is running good, if everything is running as smooth as it should. Alright, perfect. I really hate that this has to be the way that I have to continue the remaining hour of the show, but like I said, we have to deal with the cards we're dealt with. But we're gonna listen to "We Have Destruction" by Stream Beats, and let's get it. And then from there, we're gonna continue reading and discussing more Star Wars information and news, or anything related to the music. Now you're listening with power.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Welcome to Star Wars Chatter, hosted by Andrew Van Zark. Now you're listening with power. The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid. The information on this podcast is my opinion and some internet research. Alright, let's get started here. This is the Star Wars Chatter, hosted by Andrew Van Zark, your safe space to discuss Star Wars or music. So, they have just announced a new Star Wars game. Fantasy Flight Games has announced plans to publish a new Star Wars game in 2023. The new Star Wars deck building game will be released in 2023, and it is being designed by Caleb Grace, one of the lead designers of Marvel Champions, the card game, and The Lord of the Rings, the card game. No other details were provided about the game, other than the game will be a competitive PvP style game as opposed to a co-op style game. You can check out the release teaser image, which shows Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader squaring off with the box in the middle. It's a deck building game. On one level, the news that Fantasy Flight Games is making a Star Wars card game isn't much of a surprise. At one point, Fantasy Flight Games was the premier maker of Star Wars tabletop games. Although several of its biggest sellers were transferred to different Asmodees-owned game studios over the past few years, at the same time, Fantasy Flight Games has leaned more heavily into card games portfolio. Both Arkham Horror, the card game, and Marvel Champions, the card game, bestsellers of the publisher. Still, Star Wars the deck building game appears to be different kinds of card games, at least based on the preliminary description. While Arkham Horror and Marvel Champions are both co-op games, Star Wars the deck building game appears to be a competitive game that is in living card games that's built around an ever-expanding set of cards with scenarios that new packs released on a monthly basis. So this seems more like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering kind of feel, but instead of having pre-built decks and start fighting your opponents, it's more like a game that there's the cards, and throughout the game you build your cards. I feel like that's it, like a drafting game. It's more like a drafter card a trading card game. I think that's what it is, and it seems interesting. I'm a huge board game fellow enthusiast right here. The types of board games I like are more like the PvP ones, not really the simple board game with the throw the dice and that's it. No. I like the ones where you like go into a theme, and from that theme you fight opponents, or you go against your opponents in some shape or form. In a more nerdy format like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Dungeons and Dragons, Catan, Settlers of Catan, Dungeon Dice, Zombie Dice, and any of those action fighting board games. That's the type of board game that I tend to love the most. But I can enjoy any board game, to be honest. I can play a traditional chess or your checkers or Monopoly, if you will. I can do that. But this deck building game of Star Wars seems really interesting, and I would love to get my hands into it when it comes out. There's also the Sabacc card game that we can purchase. I saw it on Amazon, and that seems really interesting. Because who doesn't like the idea of playing Sabacc in the real world? The only place where you can play Sabacc in the real world officially is on the Disney Star Cruiser Hotel, which that's too expensive if you ask me. But, it is what it is, we have to deal with what we got. So, anyways, before we continue discussing more Star Wars music and the information and all that, make sure to leave me down below in the chat. From where are you listening to the show? From where are you tuning in? What's your favorite board game? It could be either a Star Wars themed one, because I know there's been releases of Star Wars board games in the past, um, and I've played a few of them. And I only own one at the moment, but I have played some from other friends and whatnot. And you can also tell me your favorite Star Wars thing. You know, either it's a character, a line, an era, a moment in a scene, a a particular song from a soundtrack of Star Wars, whichever it is, a video game, a comic, a book, whatever's your favorite thing from Star Wars, you can let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be glad to respond to it and give you my thoughts and opinions on it, or acknowledge it and read it out loud, you know? Because you can all participate on the radio show here. It's how it is, and it's how it will be, you know? So let's go listen to some more music here on the Andre Benzarek show. And we're going to listen to a song from Wanted Center. Let's go. Now you're listening with power. The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid. Now you're listening with power. Welcome to the Star Wars Chatter. And let's talk a little bit about Star Wars here for a second. Again, like we always do. And I do think that um, a theatrical release of Star Wars should be happening anytime soon, you know? I do miss, in a way, the community of Star Wars, going to the theaters and seeing people with lightsabers, or at least it doesn't have to be a theatrical release of Star Wars, but at least have um, awesome timing with the show release, and maybe have watch parties with friends and whatnot, or make it apparent. I've heard from the Star Wars Resistant broadcast podcast that where he lives, almost every single Star Wars release happens at 3 a.m. And he says that ruins a lot for two reasons. Either I have to go like this and wait till 3 a.m. and watch it, and then be all sleepy at the next day when either I have to go to work or anything related, whether your work is the actual podcast or anything else. And then it also ruins that some of your friends are not going to wait till the next day and they're going to watch it at 3 a.m. And then it ruins the experience in terms of community. Star Wars was built around community. Star Wars was built around people discussing what Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, and so on and so forth, characters we're up to. So if you're listening to the show, whether on Twitch or YouTube, what is your favorite memory from Star Wars? Doesn't have to be Star Wars itself, Maybe it could be that you went to the theater and you saw the Phantom Menace, and you were like so intrigued once you finished watching it, and then you heard people around you talking about it. Were you old enough to understand the Phantom Menace when you saw it? In my case, I didn't understand Phantom Menace until a while later in my life. Because when I saw Phantom Menace the first time on the theater, I was a little lad. And I wasn't processing many things. The only thing that I remember from there is like when I saw Darth Maul just take out his dual saber. I was like, wow, that is amazing. Look at that red-faced motherfucker. He's amazing. Now, that's all I remember. That is all I remember from the theater. And then I remember when I saw Count Dooku for the first time, that with my aunt and my cousins, that we went to Toys R Us, and then from there we bought plastic sheep lightsabers, and we were all fighting. I think I got the Darth Vader one, and I think my cousin got the Luke Skywalker one, and I think his sister got the Anakin one. And then I think we also bought Han Solo's gun. I mean blaster. Han Solo's blaster. Those are my earliest memories of Star Wars. Other than watching VHS tapes of the original trilogy. So if you have any memories of Star Wars around these parts of the radio show, make sure to type them down in the comments down below, and I'll be glad to respond to them. I'll be glad to discuss your earliest memories. It's fun to know how did you got into Star Wars. Was it by yourself, or was it your dad or mom, maybe an older brother, an older sister, a cousin, an uncle? Doesn't matter how you got into Star Wars, but I would like to know your story behind your experience with Star Wars. Have you been to the Disney's Galaxy's Edge parks? What was your experience there? I like the experience when I went to the Galaxy's Edge park. I did everything but the build your own droid and the cantina bar. So I did everything else but those two. I had blue milk and It's just a frappe, a fruity frappe. Don't lie to us. Call it the Star Wars frappe. Don't call it blue milk. They should have done it more like blue milk consistency, like milk consistency. But it's literally just a frappe, you know. But you know, so for those of you tuning in, I got you 3 things to do on the chat. Before you say anything, make sure to like, subscribe, and share around. Or if you're watching on Twitch, follow and do the things pertinent. And the second thing I want you to do is to tell me your earliest memory with Star Wars. How did you get into being a fan of Star Wars? What was that one thing that after you started watching Star Wars or started reading or playing old games of Star Wars, um what did you do afterwards that were like, wow, I love Star Wars. I'm gonna just enjoy this for the rest of my life. What are those things? And if you have the chance to let me know about that, then I'll be glad to respond. Like I said, my earliest memories are with Phantom Menace, the original trilogy, and just going to Toys R Us after seeing Attack of the Clones. That's my earliest memories. And buying a lightsaber, a plastic cheap lightsaber, not even a replica, not even one of those cool looking sabers that we have nowadays. No, just one of those retractable plastic ones that by a few hits you would see like white lines on the plastic and they could bend and break so easy, and it didn't have any light whatsoever, so it was fairly cheap. You know, at least put some effort. God damn it! At least put some cheap LED lights in the interior, like those lightsabers you see on the fucking circus that they have like multiple colors, like rainbow themed. You know, that could have been something better, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So go do your things. Type in on the chat. But if you just want to lurk and listen to the radio show, that's totally fine. So the format of the show, just for those of you that are not aware, is we play a few songs and then we discuss Star Wars. We play a few songs and then we read an article. And it doesn't have to be always updates or news. It could also be just casual discussion of Star Wars. So let's go listen to some more music here in the Star Wars Chatter radio show, hosted by Andrew Van Zark, your safe space to discuss Star Wars and music. And now that you're listening to Andrew Van Zark, you're now listening with power. Power to the music. So let's go. This one's called Happy Plays from my album Soundbit 16. Now you're listening with power. The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid.
Welcome to a new era where technology and life forms became one. A new way of thought was implemented onto you. Those thoughts were implemented onto you by ones and zeros, called binary code, and it's up to you to restore civilization. Now get on your spacecraft, switch to hyper mode, and save the universe.
All right, happy Monday for everybody on the Star Wars Chatter, where we discuss news, updates, casual thoughts, and music of Star Wars. So let's continue talking more Star Wars. There's many new things we can talk about Star Wars, like for example. So it's Disney Plus Day. So Disney Plus Day to feature epic events and surprises on September 8th. September is going to be great for Disney Plus and has teased on social media that the year Disney Plus Day taking place on September 8th will be filled with epic events, premieres, surprises, and much more. So the event will happen the day before D23 Expo kicks off in Anaheim, California, where Lucasfilms will co-host a panel with Marvel Studios on Saturday, September 10 at 10 a.m. PT. So on their Twitter, they said Star Wars Andor premieres September 21st on Disney Plus. Prepare for a day filled with epic events, premieres, surprises, and much more. This will be the second Disney Plus Day, featuring the last year's event that took place on November 12. In the previous edition, Disney Plus premiered multiple projects on the platform, in addition to teasing a lot of the upcoming projects on a Twitter thread. Star Wars was barely mentioned, with Lucas only showcasing a feature on Obi-Wan Kenobi that had already been shown to investors 11 months before. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios announced multiple new projects and premiered quick teases for the three shows they were planned to release in 2022. So Lucasfilms also premiered a documentary short on Boba Fett's legacy, ahead with a character's own series the month after, titled Under the Helmet: Legacy of Boba Fett. As today, we don't know what we can expect from the Star Wars on September 8, especially with Lucasfilms D23 presenting on 2 days later. If the company will follow once again last year's model of releasing logos for upcoming shows, we could get a specific release date for The Mandalorian Season 3, since the show was heavily featured at Star Wars Celebration. It's possible that Lucasfilms will decide to focus on other properties during D23 and might just reveal a specific release date for the new season via Twitter. Other possibilities include tentative release dates for next year's live action shows like Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. Lucasfilms could simply release possibly new logos for both shows and confirm summer 2023 and fall 2023 releases windows. And last but not least, we will probably get an update on upcoming slates of animated series. Both The Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi are scheduled to debut this fall on Disney Plus, but Lucasfilm hasn't officially confirmed a release date for either of them. A Disney Plus listing said that the former will come out on September 28, but with Andor's recent delay, we don't know if it's the case. New trailers and release dates for both of them is a very real possible, since D23 might be more focused on other stuff. The Acolytes, Indiana Jones features, Star Wars movies, etc. So it begs the question: is gonna be Bad Batch delayed on Disney Plus just because Andor got delayed? That's a good question to be asking yourself. And if you have any ideas on what could be the possible new things from Star Wars that you speculate, or where is Star Wars heading? Do you think this Andor show is gonna bring more to the table, or is it just gonna be a standalone series that is just gonna this is what it is, ends there. We're going to the next Star Wars thing. Um, or do you think it's just gonna connect in a open canvas way so that we can continue expanding the dark times of the rebellion over and over and over, the Rebel Alliance, until we get a full-fledged story out of it. I don't know exactly what we're expecting from Andor. The only thing I do expect is the uh, flashbacks and the backstory of Casey and Andor. That's all I'm expecting. But other than that, I'm going to try and go with a blank mindset. Because I don't want to expect too much and receive too little. Like, sometimes we do get that. But it is what it is, you know? We just got to deal with the cards we're dealt with. And I do love Star Wars with all my heart. So I'm just going to go blank so I can have full on receptive mind. So, for those of you in the chat, make sure to like, subscribe, and if you're watching on Twitch, make sure to follow, host, and do the things pertinent to make this show grow and show it around the world. It helps and it makes the radio show more interesting. The more people are in here, the more chances there are for people to chat, talk, and give us all the things needed in order to rule in the galaxy far, far away. So let's go listen to some more music here on the Andrew Van Zark show called Star Wars Chatter. And let's do all the things pertinent. If you want and want to leave me your thoughts, you can type them in on the chat, and I'll be glad to respond to them. I'll be saying this throughout the whole show, because I want you all to leave me your thoughts, because I want you to participate within the show, you know? It's interesting, it makes it better, and I can end up having a lot of fun when it comes to the radio show. So we're going to listen to Smoothing Groove from Gaming and Streaming. Let's go. And then after that, we're going to listen to Return of the Monarch from my album, The Saga. Heavy inspired by Star Wars. So let's go.
Now you're listening with power.
The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid.
you're listening with power.
All right, this was the Star Wars Chatter hosted by Andrew Van Zark. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I highly appreciate you being here and listening to the show. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share if you are on YouTube. But if you are on Twitch, make sure to follow. And if you're, really awesome enough, you could subscribe. And make sure to listen to my music on every major music platform. And find this show not just on YouTube and Twitch, but everywhere you can listen to podcasts. I have a new episode coming up later on today. And then later on, I'm going to have a new song scheduled to be released on every major music platform. So I'll catch you on the flip side. Adios, amigos. Speculate. The sponsor of my This was the Star Wars Chatter, hosted by Andrew Van Zark. If you have any thoughts or any messages that you want to leave me, go check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or my website, www.andrewvansart.com. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Sayonara. When you listen to Andrew Van Zark, you listen with power. Now, you're listening with power. Andrew Van Zark. Stream on every major music platform. Power to the music.